Welcome learners. I am Manoj, Head Department of Computer Science Applications, Alandra College. Today we're going to see a dawn of digital exploring vacuum tube computers in computer organization and architecture. First, we are going to see introduction to the first generation computer. The generations of computer is very important since how the computers have been developed by each generation. First generation is based on the vacuum tubes. We all know that vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes are nothing but it is filled with a vacuum and large number of tubes have been used. Defining the era, vacuum tube computers represents the first generation of electronic computing devices, fundamentally changing computational science. Time frame. These machines were predominantly developed and used for the early 1940s until the mid 1950s. Code technology. Their defining feature was the use of vacuum tubes. Next, what is a vacuum tube? Vacuum tube is essentially a glass envelope that contains a vacuum and an internal structure of electrodes. Its functions. They act as electronic switches to on and off or amplifiers for electronic signals, allowing complex logic circuits to be built. Importance. Before the invention of the transistors, vacuum tubes were the only visible, viable way to perform high-speed electronic calculations, making them the logic gate of the first generation computer. Their operation, the filament heats up to emit electrons, allowing controlled current flow, the basis of the switching action. Key characteristics of first generation machines. Power consumption. Extremely high power needs. Mainly kilowatts were required just to heat the tube filaments. Computers were enormous, often occupying entire rooms. It may be used in a large room. It occupies the whole room. Speed. Although slow by modern standards, they were revolutionary, capable of calculations in milliseconds or microseconds. Input-output methods. Primarily, input and output relied on manual method like punching cards, paper tape, and magnetic tapes. Architectural building blocks. Vacuum tubes logic. The core processing element performing switching, arithmetic and control functions. Magnetic drum, that is memory. Used for primary storage, data was stored magnetically on a rotating cylinder. Punch cards. It is being used as a input methods. CRT monitors. Cathode rays tubes were sometimes used as an output, though printers were more commonly used as an output device. Pioneering vacuum tube computers. There are different vacuum tube computers. The first general purpose electronic digital computers highly influential was ENIAC 1945. In 1949, they used a computer which is used to store a program concept, differentiating data and instructions. First commercial computer available to the public and business was ENIAC 1951. Von Neumann architecture. It is an important architecture how a vacuum tube works. The input method interfaces using punching cards input will be given and the data are transferred to a control unit. From there it moves to the central processing unit and from there it is stored in the memory. Advantages of the tubes. Computational speed significantly faster than the previous mechanical or electronical relays, enabling complex numerical analysis. Automation allowed for the first time fully electronic, non manual processing of large scale problems. The trade offs, disadvantages. There are some disadvantages since it is in a first generation computer. Since the heat generation, the tubes produce enormous amounts of heat. The room which is filled with the computer will be have a lot of heat. High cost. Since we use large vacuum tubes, the cost will be higher. Frequent failures. The tubes may be failed frequently used. Power consumption. Since you are using enormous amount of vacuum tubes, the large power consumption is used. The lasting legacy. They proved the feasibility of large-scale high-speed electronic computation. They established the fundamental CPU memory. Their development accelerated the innovation that led directly to the smaller, faster, and more reliable computing we know today. Thank you.